Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. It's me, Mitch, and welcome to Morning Coffee with me. I'm eyeing the coffee over there. I haven't had any yet. So without further ado, drink it if you got it. Excuse me. Excuse me, a little more. Oh, God, that hits the spot. What is it about morning coffee, huh? What is it? There must be some draw to it because a lot of people drink coffee. I don't know if the jury's still out about whether it's good for you or bad for you, or whether it makes you live longer, or who knows? Who knows? Do it if you feel like. You don't come in here to take your marching orders. I hope not, anyway. Wow, it's going to be a warm day today here. It's going to get up to the low 70s. But then we got another cold, not as bad as the last one, but another cold front coming through, and it's going to drop the temperatures back down. And sorry to say, it looks like it's going to be kind of a chilly weekend over in Sarasota for our meetup. So anybody going to the meetup, bring your booties. Bring your mittens. Because I think most of the event is planned to be outdoors. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I did something this morning that I try to avoid normally. But I woke up a little earlier this morning. I was up before 5. And I'm rambling around. So I went ahead and actually, basically looking for the weather forecast, I stumbled onto the local morning news. And boy, am I glad I did. Am I glad I did, because a story came on the news that just almost renewed my faith in big corporate's ability to be compassionate, caring. It brought tears to my eyes. Not just any corporation, but one of the ones we demonize so much, so often, PepsiCo. The last company you'd expect to really do a good deed. But there it was. It actually made headline news. It was so wonderful just to see. And to get up in the morning and get such great news from a big company like PepsiCo, it renews your faith in humanity, if you know what I mean. And let me, so I don't keep you on it. You know what's coming. You know the sarcasm is running deep this morning. Anyway, the headline was, and the gist of the story was that PepsiCo, in an effort to help out all of the people that are struggling out there, they are going to, for over the Super Bowl weekend, listen, get ready for this. They are going to lower the prices on all of their snacks. Doritos, everything for Super Bowl weekend, because that's just how wonderful they are. Now, and one of the things they did say in the news story was that the sales of these ridiculously poisonous snack foods has been decreasing lately. They're selling less and less of this crap. And there was some good news buried in this story, although they were really trumping up the fact that out of the goodness of their heart, PepsiCo didn't want people not being able to afford Doritos over the Super Bowl weekend. But they did say that sales are falling off. Sales of snack foods are falling off, and like I usually do, I said, well, is the new food pyramid responsible? I had another thought. There's so many people in this country now that are spending a fortune on weight loss drugs. And, that's got to hit the snack industry from two separate sides all at the same time. It hits them from the fact that people have to make the decision whether to use their Ozempic money to buy Doritos. Or maybe it's the fact that this Ozempic is really doing its job, maybe a little too much, and these people either have no appetite anymore, are snacking less, which is one of the things that it's supposed to do, or maybe they're just not feeling well enough, because a tremendous amount of people on those drugs suffer from gastric distress, nausea. You just got to feel a little off. So now, who does PepsiCo get mad at? Who do they get mad at for the decrease in their Doritos sales and forcing them to lower the price to start moving the stuff again? Because if anybody buys into the fact that they care about you and your life, so they're going to sell you their crap cheaper. I got a bridge up in Brooklyn that I'll let you have real cheap. Anyway, a little morning observation here. I did find that kind of funny and ironic in the fact that it was the first headline, believe it or not, the first headline on the news. Could it be that PepsiCo has that much influence with the media? You bet your life it does. At any rate, I thought that was something. I don't usually comment on the news anymore because I don't usually watch the news. Well, 2 more days. 2 days until Sarasota. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also a little bit nervous about it. It's going to be physically very taxing on me at this stage. It's been almost a year since my stroke, but I have been left certainly with what I'm sure are permanent, and I don't want to use the word disabilities, but I'm getting old. It's never going to be like it was. I decided try to make the best of it, but I always have to be wary and I have to be careful. So as of now, I'm still planning on going. I'm not happy about the fact that it's going to be cold. I don't do as well in the cold. I've noticed that. And that's just a result of the damage that the stroke did. But I'll bundle up warm, so if you're there and you're looking for me, just look for the Eskimo. Just look for the big bundle of clothes with a hat brim sticking out, and you'll probably find me. You probably find me. But I am looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to be doing a Friday morning coffee because I'll be getting ready to go. I'm going to try to save as much of my energy as I can. It's a long drive. It's going to be about 3.5 hour drive for me. The longest, certainly the longest drive I've taken in a year. And I want to leave fairly early, right after the rush hour, and get over there early afternoon, just in time to see Rick get off the bus, I guess. I'm looking forward to meeting all you guys. Juliet's going to be there. Looking forward to meeting you, and I'm looking forward to meeting Rick and Gary, No Slow. And of course, everybody else that's going to be there. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to chronicle it. I doubt I might take Gary a camera with me, but I doubt I'll take it out of the car. If I do take a lot of pictures, it's probably going to be with my cell phone, because I've got it with me. I doubt, and I hope I don't get to the point where I need to rely on it, but I do have a carrier walker around in the back of the car. Got my cane, and I think the cane will probably do it for me. Depends how tired I get, how much walking back and forth I have to do. I don't plan on doing a lot on Friday, but on Saturday in that hotel, I have to swallow my pride maybe and push the walker along, because a lot of distance in those hotels, walking from one end of them to the other. So I guess it might be foolish pride, because I know everybody understands. The alternative is I just become a shut-in, and I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Let me say good morning and see who got here first. Any questions or comments? Anything you want to talk about? QQQ, please. Got 84 people here. I assume Kilts is long since done. Yes. Okay. And let's see. First one last night, of course, Mary M. We got a new member for the new channel support member, Golden Girl. Thank you, and welcome. Humaira's here. How you doing? Last night. This morning, Wayne Herman chimed in, and Lady June chimed in again this morning. Richard Williams is here, and we have Mike Seeley, as usual, from Melbourne, right down the street. Hi, Mike. Good morning to you. Tracy Thompson is here. Lucy Work chimed in. Tammy Pitarch is here. Chris Swain from New South Wales in Australia. What time is it there? Guess it's evening. Good evening to you. Yeah. Yep. It's night almost, I guess. And Robbie Autry chimed in early today. 4 minutes early. How are you, Robbie? Good to see you. Rick is here. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Rick. You all excited about the weekend? Yeah, it's going to be a trip. And Brian and B-Matt is here, and my BB and E. Lori Watson. Good morning, Lori. And then so as not to disappoint us. Robbie Autry chime back in right at 7 o'clock. Taking the crown again is hump day. God, this is good, this coffee. Wow. I see Nelson's here. The real Dr. Nelson in the chat. Good morning, Nelson. How you doing, my friend? Looking forward to this weekend. Looking forward to this weekend. Everybody say hi to Nelson. Always good to see you guys. And Aaron is here. Aaron, good morning to you. Booby Goats and Lori. I said good morning to you, but Lori is singing and dancing to the music. And Marla Kelly's here. Hiya, Marla. Bride's Biscuit is here. Good morning to you, she says. Good morning, fam. Brenda McIntyre. Hiya, Brenda. Good to see you. And Steve Rogers, Captain America from Kansas City. Hiya, Steve. Feral Grandma's here. How you doing? And Don Schonger. And Judy King. Look at all these people here. Wow, wow, wow. Danny in Boston. Hiya, Danny. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And Mary commented that I think I saw your earlier comment, but by now it's probably been deleted. CB. Hiya, CB. How you doing? Had a nice little live stream last night, and somehow the subject got around to golf. We got Spanky up in Canada, and No Slow talking about golf, showing off putters, and I had nothing to say because I'm not a golfer. So I sat and watched. It was pretty interesting. Peter chimed in. Cool. Speaking of Peter, there he is. I have to work until 9 p.m. tonight. Wow, wow. Well, there are advantages to being older, and one of them is you're probably retired. Although I'm still trying to figure out the meaning of that word. I think I work more hours in a week than most working people. But don't be such a hurry to be finished with working. You're going to wake up one morning and say, well, now what the hell do I do? I couldn't do it. I couldn't stop. I tried to stop. I had all the toys, I had boats and the airplanes, I had all that stuff. Tried to stop working. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Had no purpose. Had no purpose. Everybody thinks it's going to be such, how great would it be if I could just lay around and just have fun all the time and travel. And then you realize that there are some people, and I guess I'm one of them, and I don't know whether I lucked out or whether it was the opposite, but without a sense of purpose, even if you have to manufacture that purpose for yourself, you start to feel irrelevant, ignored. And I think the same thing happened to my father. My father sold his drugstore in Philadelphia, and he was in his 70s, and they moved to Florida, and he was going to retire. And his dream, golfer that he was to just read books, play golf. My father was a very simple man. Material things, which it's amazing when I look at me, but material things were so unimportant to him. Very unimportant. He would drive a car until the body panels fell off from rust. And then he'd probably take the car to Earl Scheib, if you ever remember the body paint, and they'd bondo it up and paint it again. And he'd keep driving it. He wouldn't buy new golf clubs. He didn't buy clothes. He bought nothing. My father spent no money on anything. He went to the library, got books, and between the books, his drugstore, and his golf, that was all he cared. And never saw the man angry, never saw him unhappy, never heard him raise his voice. He was the most type B personality on the planet. My mother was the exact opposite. And I inherited my mother's personality, and I think my father's physical health, which was a crazy combination. But how to get started down that road? Where was I? CB, Peter. I talked about having to work in retirement. That's where I got to that. And Sandy Blythe here. Coffee is life. La vida. La vida. L'chaim. You've all heard the Yiddish toast. L'chaim. To life. Mandy Meadows is here. Good morning. Morning coffee. Clinks Mitch. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Rick says chili doesn't bother him. Good. Good. I think you find it when you get older. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like as you get older, you get a little more sensitive to the cold. Maybe it's just because I'm skinny that I got sensitive to the cold. Maybe when I was carrying a couple 100 pounds around, I was much better insulated. I mean, there is a reason that most of the Eskimos are a little chunky and do carry a lot of body fat, just like the animals. 26 degrees in Midwest Illinois, says Brenda. 57 degrees in South Florida. Well, it was 50 outdoors here, so that sounds about right. Sounds about right in South Florida. And wow, I'm all the way up to 705. Black box warning TV. It's early. He had me there for a minute. Anyone going to rush out to stock up? Yeah, we're talking about the Doritos. Unbelievable. And they showed the whole screen, big picture of all the Doritos and the Cheetos and the different snack foods that come from PepsiCo. In any other context, a company like Coke or Pepsi that sells products that are so addictive and cause so many health problems. Any organization that did that much harm, caused that much pain and suffering to humanity, kind of like the the drug cartels, would be demonized, prosecuted, made illegal. And yet, they've positioned themselves as benefactors. Benefactors. I mean, imagine the corner boy, selling heroin. They had a news story about him. How benevolent he's being in this holiday season, to make it easier and more affordable for you to get your heroin fix over the Super Bowl weekend. What a guy. I mean, it's the same thing. Are we screwed up? Are we screwed up? Do we worship the wrong heroes? You bet we do. You bet we do. Oh, Donna Ray says she forgot to say good morning. Good morning, Donna Ray. How are you? And Lori says sales are down because people are starting to realize where their migraines are coming from. Well, that may be true. It may be true, but that doesn't stop people, alcoholics, from drinking because of where their hangovers come from. They know that, but they can't. They're addicted. They're addicted. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how much their sales are down. You could never tell by walking up down the aisles of Costco or Sam's Club or the supermarket. CB says, I like the rebranding of your channel. Good stuff and approach to the content. Thank you, CB. It's not a whole lot different, but I think I'm attracting a little more attention because I took the word carnivore out of the channel name, even though it's still my handle, Old Guy Carnivore. I don't want to give up that identity, but that's not what people see when they're scrolling through their recommended feed in YouTube. In that instance, YouTube uses the channel name. And one person with a handle, like Old Guy Carnivore on YouTube, can have multiple channels. I think it was a good idea. I don't think I lost anything because the word carnivore spelled out is not in the channel name. And so thanks, CB. I appreciate that. I always like a little bit of positive reinforcement to my decision. But thanks to that one video I made about which is still going strong. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's still, I'm at, well, right now, 49,379 subscribers, which I know I say I don't really care about that number, but if I had my druthers, I'd rather see it climbing than decreasing. And it's gone about 3,000 subs in the last month or so, after I changed the channel name. But I think most of those subs came from that one video where I said that I am not going to get my annual physicals anymore. And right now, that one particular video has 169,300 views. Wow. And I can tell you how many subs it's gotten me. It has gotten me, that one video. I don't know if you can see this. Let me hold it up. That one video has gotten me 3,400 new subscribers from one video. And look at the line. It's still steadily going up. I mean, YouTube is still now, if I could figure out what I did with that one video, the last video I had that did that was my world famous throw the chuck roast in the crock pot video. You remember that? That was over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Throw a chuck roast in a crock pot, put a lid on it, shred it up. It was what an amazing revelation. That video has over 200,000 views on it now. Now, if I could make every one of my videos do that, I'd have something. But it doesn't work that way, and I still can't figure out what was so great about that one video. Yeah, I know the thumbnail said, "Count me out." And that's a little clickbaity, but you have to do that. But it wasn't deceptive clickbait. It described what the video was about. And the title of the video was not deceptive at all. It said, I canceled my annual physical. But something about that combination caused a ton of people to jump on it right away, and it took off, and it's still gone. Almost what, 3 weeks later? It's crazy. It's crazy, and it really got my subscriber count up. So this YouTube thing, as long as I've been doing it, and as much as I try to analyze it, and as much as I listen to other people trying to analyze it, it's very, very, very frustrating. I imagine as frustrating as anybody else in the traditional public life, like an entertainer or a comedian. What makes one comedian take off and the other, who might even be funnier, end up committing suicide down the road? Or musicians, one-hit wonders. How come a one-hit wonder sells millions of records and then can't sell another record after that? I don't know. I don't think we'll ever figure it out. Everybody has a formula for success to sell you, but they very rarely work. And the only one that makes any money is the person selling you the advice. Here's somebody I've never seen, this Crazy Chungus. Crazy Chungus, good morning, Mr. Mitch. Good morning, Crazy Chungus. That's quite a name you've got there. How are you? How are you? And let me just go through here. Wow, it's 7:30 already. I'm looking forward to this afternoon. Might be the one warm day we have until next week. Really warm. Although we're not going to freeze. At least we're not going to freeze. Thank goodness for that. Lori says I might have to move to Florida if I get much older. We still got some room left down here in Florida. Still got a little room. In fact, I think some people are deciding they've had enough of Florida. Especially in the Villages area. Boy, those poor people up there. The cost of living. So many people retired because it was very economical, and because of storms and insurance rate increases and homeowners increases that they can't, these retired people cannot afford to live in those houses now and are having to sell. Well, a lot of people are selling. And in an area where you could always count on making a fortune by buying a house, now so many of these people are upside down in the houses. Oh, more on them than they're worth. Can't get out. Have tax bills due. Maintenance. Homeowners Association maintenance bills due. Insurance bills that were maybe $2,000 a year that are now $12,000 a year, and they have a fixed income. And while the prices may seem like a bargain, when I look at it, they haven't even started to drop yet. So this is not the time to go running in there. And it's going to be ugly. Same thing's happened in Miami in the condo market. Judy King says, what's going on in Sarasota? Where you been, Judy? Kiltz's meetup and barbecue at his house and on the 6th and 7th, Friday and Saturday. And if you go to Kiltz's channel or his website, you'll find all the details. If you're in the neighborhood, stop on by. On Friday, we're having a barbecue. 100 people are going to be there. At Kiltz's house, right on the water, like we did last year. And then on Saturday, the whole show moves up to Tampa. I forget the name of the hotel, but by the airport there. And we're going to have speakers. And one of them is going to be yours truly. Although, this is funny. People say to me, what are you going to talk about, Mitch? And my answer is, how the hell do I know? I won't decide what to talk about until I'm walking up on the stage. That's the way I live. That's the same way with these live streams of mine. And the same way, I guess the same way I approach life in general. Take it as it comes. Because anytime I try to make plans, something always comes along and screws it up. You know the old saying, the best laid plans of mice and men are soon to go astray? Or for the religious people, man proposes and then God disposes. I've learned that a long time ago. That in a world with such turmoil and unpredictability, when I used to hear people say, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I was 20 years old and they're asking me about my retirement plans, I'd look at them like they had four eyes. I'd say, ask me. Now, I always had a retirement plan in the back of my head, but it also always revolved around my business plans, which are always getting knocked out of the water by some tsunami or other. So trying to plan. I still don't have any plans for my future, whatever's left of it. I take it as it comes. DS-111, that is a very, very wise saying. Today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. It's true. It's very true. Do you think the caveman had a 401k? Do you think any living thing before the agricultural revolution of the human race were planning their old age? Does any living animal plan the future? We're so incredibly unique in our sentience and our ability to be aware of our existence and ultimately aware of the fact that we are not going to live forever and die. I often wonder if that's really such a good thing. And maybe those animals roaming around aren't quite as stressed out as we are. Oh, they have to fight off predators, they have to find food. But obviously, that's been working for hundreds of millions of years. How long has living in this society and civilization of ours been really working? Or has it ever worked? Has it ever worked? I mean, look at us. Look at the world. Look at the strife, the conflict, the unhappiness, the complaining, the marches, the protests, the hate. How much longer can we keep this up? Maybe I envy all those animals that only have to worry about where the next meal's coming from, because in the final analysis, those are really the most important things we all need to deal with. Where's our next meal coming from? Where are we going to get the roof over our head? And how are we going to protect ourselves from predators? We've added all this other crap on top of it. But I'm happy today that I know that over the Super Bowl weekend, Doritos are going to be a lot more affordable. So, it's a great world after all. Pardon me, sorry to sound like I'm complaining. Oh, God, I love sarcasm is just the attitude that's always correct for any occasion. Sully Matt wishes he could go to Sarasota. Have a good time. I will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, let me kind of scooch along here. If uh, I agree. I don't believe in retirement. Um, I I have come back from financial disaster to the point now where I could probably, if I lived really frugally, last quite a while financially with my Social Security and basically nothing else. But with the small amount of income that I supplement myself with, it gives me discretionary money because I'm not traveling. I'm not spending any money. I'm not going out to eat. I don't spend anything now. I pay my bills. I pay my bills, and that's about it. And, I buy some cigars. Occasionally, some YouTube-related expenses, monthly subscriptions to things that I have to, software and services and cameras and electronic gadgets. So I keep doing what I'm doing. But basically, my needs are very small. I can't remember the last time I was on an airplane. I think it was 10 years ago. This trip for me this weekend is the first adventure I've had in a year. So I don't have a lot of pressure, but I just can't stop. I can't stop. I don't want to retire. So even though I could take a few years off, I don't want to. It makes me feel useless. And if anybody goes back to that first video that I recorded, it was kind of emotional because I've really been coming off some hard times. And I thanked everybody that jumped on this old guy carnivore thing. A lot of people did it first, and I got thousands of comments on videos. And I got emotional. And I thank everybody because you've given me I said you've given me my life back. You've given me a sense of purpose again. I meant it then, and I still mean it. And even though I get so fed up sometimes with idiot commenters, with YouTube's unpredictability, threaten to, I need to quit, I can't, and I won't, because I have other purpose in this world. I do support businesses on their websites and things like that. And I do work. But I really feel a sense of purpose here. Even though there are times when I feel like it's a losing battle, fighting the propaganda and everything. I just keep, I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I just keep ranting about it. And as long as people keep watching, I'm going to keep ranting. And Peter says, I can't ever see retiring. I can't do it financially, plus I need to be busy. Well, they are two very important, but I think that, well, of course, you got to be able to eat. That's the prime. You got to eat and have a roof over your head. But I wonder where the concept of retirement came from in the first place. Who was the first person in the world that says it decided at 65 you stop working? It was that first guy. There had to be a first guy somewhere. Was it a caveman? Did the cavemen know when their birthday was? They didn't even have calendars back then. Did the cavemen know they were living in the year 40,000 BC? Did they know that? Were they counting up to 0? They knew the seasons. That was obvious. But did they even understand the concept of a year or of age itself? You've got to. They were intelligent people. 30, 40,000 years ago. The IQ of a caveman was probably greater than the brain-damaged masses today. Remember, they invented tools. They discovered fire. They'd already, by 30, 40,000 years ago, become a society, become somewhat civilized, had the hunting techniques down. I'm sure they didn't know all of the facts and realities of the universe and solar system, and had made all the discoveries and didn't understand how the machinery of life worked. But they were smart, had language, had art. We have not changed very much in our physiology from those people that lived in the caves. They just didn't have the experiences, haven't seen what we've seen, certainly hadn't traveled. They didn't know what airplanes were. But that didn't make us smarter. Discovering all that stuff, and certainly all the latest discoveries of all the things that used to be secrets of how life works, which are now easily explainable chemistry and understandable, and quantum physics, and all the things that we do, and artificial intelligence now. Just show us that we are more and more just an organic machine. We have organic computers now. We develop ways to store data, not on a hard drive, but in DNA. And that's the future of data storage for computers, is going to be organic storage, because that's what DNA is. It's programming code. And as we become aware of more and more of this stuff, the mystery just kind of goes out of it. We were talking about Peter retiring and got down that road. Wow. 720. I'm up to 720. Laurie says, I think I'm your father. I don't think so, Laurie. Oh, you mean you're like my father? Okay. I always wanted to meet a woman that was like my father. I always met the women that were like my mother. Never satisfied. Always needed a bigger car, bigger house, more clothes, more shoes. You can't help who you're attracted to, I guess. I do get a kick out of reading your stuff. Everybody said hi to Dr. Nelson. Here's a question. What happened to your smooth song, Mitch? I just love that. This one? I love it too. I just didn't want to overdo it.
They rise and fall, don't say much at all. Every plan had its moment in time.
I figured Mitch uses a smooth jazz song for the closing of his shows now, I think. No, I just switch them off, but I did program a button. I did program a button on my mixer so that I can always have that song available at the push of a button. The mixer is over here, and I have banks of different, you see the colors changing as I switch to banks, and in these different banks I have different songs. So in this bank, the top button is this. The second button is the opening for the morning coffee. The third button is my happy music. This button up here is my bell, and this button here is my cheering crowd. And in the next bank, the top button is my funky music. Play that funky music, white boy. And this, having all this available at the mixer, and here in this middle button, I programmed my new song. And this button is you've heard that one. I use that as an opening sometime for my countdowns on the live streams. What's this button? Oh, this is kind of a little riff, little guitar riff. And then this one, you know that one, that's one that plays behind the intro. And what's this one? Oh, this is pretty. I don't think I've ever used this particular song on any of my live streams, but I really like it. It's kind of a great background song. I've used it in some videos. I used it in a lot of drone videos when I was doing like a beautiful drone flight out over the ocean in an early morning with the sunrise, birds flying. It was perfect. And the song, as it goes on, kind of builds, gets a little more intense. I love music, and I love to use music and the emotion that music stimulates. And that's the way Hollywood and virtually all of the cinematic media, you don't realize it's always there. There's always music in the background, at least 99%. Anyway, that's very pretty. So that's answers that question about the music. Let's see. You guys are talking. Any more questions here? DS111 said, yeah, looks like an academic degree after. I did that on purpose. People always put letters after their name. Some of these letters don't mean anything. You ever see a doctor? What the hell does FACS mean? And why would you want to put it after your name? MD, PhD, FACS, FUC, no, I'm sorry. You know, what are these letters? Everybody wants to be a man of letters. What does it mean? That, to me, basically what sitting in a classroom all day and listening to somebody else's bullshit and propaganda is nothing to be proud of. And I look at these letters, and to me, once you learn the basic mechanics of what it is you're trying to learn, the rest of it is just opinion and propaganda and agendas of somebody else. So when people say, well, you don't have a medical education, I say, thank God. Thank God. I never had to study and take a test on all that destructive and incorrect information and then regurgitate it to them so that they put those letters behind my name, which really mean nothing. Means you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you tell me to eat 11 servings of whole grains every day, you, my friend, are a moron. Is that what the M in MD means? And yet, these people, in their arrogance, they lord these letters. He's a man of letters, he's distinguished. I brag about the fact that I didn't waste my time listening and learning somebody else's propaganda and agenda. I just observed reality and have common sense and form my own version of that. And anything that we need to learn these days, you just Google. Not that you have a chance of being right, but I think you have more of a chance of being right if you just Google something and look at a couple of the answers to see which one makes the most sense to you. Then if you enroll in a school, go through all that bullshit, spend all that money, conform to all those regulations, play all those silly games, I think it's not a great way to learn something. And cavemen didn't have degrees. They could take their degrees and stick them, as far as I'm concerned. I guess you get that attitude when you get old, when you've just seen so much, and so much stupidity, and so much flat out bad behavior, hiding behind the shield of all the letters. So I stuck OGC behind my name. Could have stuck a lot of things. Could have made up any acronym, stuck it out. Nobody would have known what it means. I could have a string of letters behind my name, 10 feet long. Nobody understands that stuff. They understand PhD. They understand MD, DO, DC. But even those letters have a pecking order, have a royalty to them, MD being at the top. And then DO after that. Still a doctor, but not a real doctor. According to the MDs, you're just a DO. You're an osteopath. Turns out the osteopaths are probably closer to the real truth of good health because they're mostly naturopaths. They do believe in the power of good nutrition. And then down at the bottom of the doctor chart, we have the lowly chiropractor, the bone cracker. Medical doctors look at chiropractors like, how the hell are they allowed to call themselves doctors? We have many chiropractors that settle into the nutritional space and become big YouTubers like Eric Berg, who is a doctor. But we call them all doctor. They call me professor. I'm not a professor. I don't have any letters behind my name. I didn't waste the time. Well, all my peers were wasting their time, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, getting all these different degrees. I was out there learning how the world works, taking my lumps, looking around, taking it all in, and forming my worldview and how I'm going to navigate my way through it. And that's just exactly what I've done all my life. And lest we forget that it is possible to be smart and succeed, you just need to look at the most successful human beings on the planet today, especially in business. And none of them ever had a college degree. Not one of them. Not Bill Gates. Not Steve Jobs. None of them. Zuckerberg did, I think. But Zuckerberg, being a good Jewish boy, went to college, probably had a ball, got drunk, frat boy kind of life. That's great. But I don't believe it was anything that any of them ever learned in college. Look at guys like Sam Walton, who invented Walmart. None of the things that they taught these people in college really gave them what they needed to know to become billionaires and multi-billionaires. That's my opinion. And of course, I would think that because that makes me feel good about myself. We all want to do that. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Let me scream on down here and see if I see some more questions. Question from Rough Stuff. I want to get some merch. Do you ship to Guam, USA? Maybe. I don't know. The merch people that I have are bonfire links. I don't see why they wouldn't ship to Guam. But you can find out by going to that. The link is in the description of all the videos for the t-shirts and coffee cups and things. So thank you for the interest. Appreciate it. And just scroll down this. Where am I? 7:49 almost. All right, sneaking up on it. Talking about the so here a little criticism for Mitch from Rose. Rose says, "Hun, you should read comments more instead of just output of information. It needs to be interaction. That's why you're not as popular as you used to be. People need to interact. It's human." Thank you, Rose. I appreciate the constructive criticism. And we'll take it for what it's worth. Wow, Rose has started. Rose really doesn't like me. She thinks I ignore the comments. I don't know why people come here to watch me. I honestly don't know why. I don't have guests on here. I don't do like Kiltz does and just have somebody new come on every day and basically say the same thing over and over again. I don't do that. I don't want to do that. There's a place for that. We need to hear from these people. But we hear from these people everywhere. We hear from all these people, from Dave Mack to Kiltz every morning, to so many of you who have YouTube channels that have a guest. I have a panel, but very rarely do I ever ask anybody on my panel to completely tell me their life story. I've told my life story a few times and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I hardly ever do an interview because everybody else is doing that. I try to be different, Rose. And I try to interact with people. But I don't have producers like so many of these other people have. I don't have Alia sitting there reading all the comments and pointing out the questions to me. I don't have a script. I come on here every day and just say what comes to mind. And if I happen to pontificate for a while, I don't see people bailing out on me. I think I have worthwhile observations and insights. And obviously somebody else thinks so. So no. My show is simply not just reading the chat one after another and putting it on the screen. You don't need me for that. Honest, Rose, you don't need me for that. I try to find the ones that say QQQ and answer those, but you don't need me. You don't need me putting every channel on the screen and reading it to you. And I think that will just be boring as hell. I'd be ashamed to do just that for an hour. It would make me, I'd be embarrassed. And what I do now, if you could imagine the multitasking that I have to do just to do what I'm doing and keep my mouth going, so I don't just sit here reading the chat. You try it, Rose. You try it, Rose. And you keep... Rose, what the hell is wrong with you? Mitch, do you ever do random acts of kindness to strangers? Rose. Sorry, Rose. Gotta put you in a timeout. I've had enough of you this morning. I'm sorry I'm not good enough for you, sweetheart. Sorry I don't measure up. I'm sorry I don't measure up to your idea of what a good human being should be. And I'm sorry. I don't even know if you subscribe to this channel, Rose, because I did turn off that subscribers only. Perhaps if I put that back on again, so you have to be a subscriber for at least a day to start finding fault with me, I wouldn't have to put up with this crap. So, sorry. I took some of it and tried to be nice to you, but man, you're just going on and on and on. So, Rose, my dear, obviously, I'm not the guy for you. I am not the guy for you. Wow, look at that. And that's why I do take these things personally. And Rose, good old Rose, just dominated the chat. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, Rose, I've never seen you before, and I would really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. My dear, if you take your business elsewhere. Okay? So, on that note, and to change the mood, I'm going to play a little happy music and say goodbye to everybody. And I want to thank you all. Thank you all for rising to my defense. From the critics that just are not happy unless they are demeaning somebody else and finding fault so that they think that they're so much better. So much better. Sorry. You know, I'm almost 79 years old. I've gotten this far without their help. I don't need it now. I certainly don't need it now. So, thanks for coming, everybody, and thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope we've had a few good moments in today's show. Usually do. Rick says welding time now. Anthony says off the grass. Damn right. Get off my lawn, kids. Third year watching you, Mitch. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Peter says, see you soon, Mitch. Great show. Thank you, Peter. Michael Pregler. Yes, he loves Rose. Okay. Good, Michael. When will you get a deal? Bye, Mitch and all the Mitch. Mitch says, super tunes. That was great. Thank you. And we will probably do the members live stream tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. In the midst of my packing, whatever I'm going to pack to take with me on Friday. And I don't know. I doubt we'll be having Friday morning coffee or a Saturday Night Live. But other than that, I'll see it when I see it, probably tomorrow night. Thanks for coming. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.